Fairly cool temperature, although I expect during this game it's going to hot up considerably.
I'm sure it will, and Steve Malloy of Featherstone will be one of the men leading the battle royal up front that Steve-O has predicted. Malloy, the former Leeds and Warrington man. He signed from Warrington. He failed to score for Warrington in 50 appearances. The England and Great Britain international. Let's check the Featherstone lineup for you once again. Pearson comes back after flu. Butt, Manning, Gibson and Simpson. Maloney and Dawn. Malloy, Gunn the captain. Casey, Slugger Price, Roebuck and Tuta. St Helens, last season's runners-up, only on points difference, have Lyon, Riley, Vivas, Loughlin and Hunt, Rapati and O'Donnell, Neil, Dwyer, Mann, Joint, Nicol and Cooper the captain, missing of course the Welshman Anthony Sullivan and Jonathan Griffiths, who will be on duty for Wales against the Kiwis at the Vetchfield Swansea on Sunday, a match you can see on Sky Sports. Referee from Wigan is Ian Ollerton, the 40-year-old, and he is someone else telling me before the kick-off who's looking forward to this match here tonight too. Chris Joint, one of the runners-up in the Young Player of the Year poll. Last season, had a big season, broke through to international recognition. And this match, Steve-O, a cracking atmosphere.
It always is at Post Office Road. The fans do get behind their own side, Featherstone Rovers, and as I mentioned in the build-up, if they can score very early in the piece, they really will hear all the shouting. They go berserk here at Featherstone. They love their rugby league football.
Well, it's going to be St Helens, 5th in the table, 3 wins and 2 defeats, who will get this match in motion, and Featherstone 8th in the table, they too, 3 wins and 2 defeats. Tonight, perhaps something has got to give, and Tia Rapati will get us underway. Big match for Saints, big match too for Featherstone. This is Martin Pearson, their fullback, ducking under the challenge of Cooper, but Bernard Dwyer wraps him up, 10 yards from his own posts. Important early moments these. Rapati working hard already at the marker position to play the ball. Here now is Brett Daunt, the scrum half. 4 tackles gone and Featherstone just outside their quarter line. Steve Malloy with a driving run downfield, developing into quite a favourite here at Post Office Road. The last one in this first set of 6 in this vital big league match in the Stones Bidder Championship. And Martin Pearson plonks the ball into the arms of Alan Hunt, back in the St Helens side after a 4-match absence with suspension. Sent off at Hulkingston Rovers on the opening day. Good chase though from the Featherstone forwards.
Excellent chase by the pack there, but it wasn't the best kick by Martin Pearson.
Sonny Nicol, second row forward, for St Helens in possession. And a real struggle to bring him down. Eventually Leo Casey finished him off with Roebuck round his ankles. Bernard Dwyer to George Mann. Good run from Mann. Good tackling though from Roebuck. And offside against 2 Featherstone players on that far side. I think it's Gibson and Simpson.
Sneaking up on the blind side there. They didn't come back the full 10. See the referee Ollerton quick to point to them. They do that to try to force the ball down into the middle so that they run into the forwards. That's good refereeing there.
So Saints will come again from the 20-metre mark. They're in possession with Neil. Now it's Bernard Dwyer. That's a good run from the St Helens hooker in that Great Britain squad. Will this be the time he gets the nod? Now Chris Joint. Featherstone having to work overtime. It was Gary Price who met him. Casey was there too. So was Richard Gunn, the captain. George Mann on the drive. George Mann so close and he's over. What a start for Saints. George Mann with the try.
Neat little switch inside. You can see Dwyer bringing the ball back inside there. And the big man, he spun out. They really should have had a man going on the top. He's got all the strength in the world as this guy, and George Mann, the opening one. Inside run, it's a planned move. Dwyer runs across, but he should have been stopped there. See how he was spinning? There was no one there to finish him off, and that is a gift try, but well worked.
His second in successive matches for George Mann. Last week against Castleford, it was his first since May. That was also against Castleford. Now he's added this one tonight against Featherstone. And a significant 2 points for Paul Loughlin. Loughlin now on the 2,000 point mark for St Helens. They will lead by 6-0.
Dwyer runs across, he pulls the defence with him, and Mann comes on the inside. Excellent play. But he should have been stopped. You should not allow a man to spin out like that. When someone goes low, you've got to have someone coming over the top to finish him.
So Featherstone Rovers trailing by 6 points to 0, and the ball straight out on the fall into the back of the terracing behind the post there. And that's a big blow and a big blunder by Maloney.
Far too strong. I think it surprised himself. Bit of a wind getting up though. You can see they're going to have the advantage, Featherstone, in this first half, and they're playing down the slope. So everything looks pretty good for St Helens so far. They're going to have that advantage in the second half.
David Lyon with the penalty from halfway, and just to emphasise, Paul Loughlin, it's in his benefit year that he's hit the 2,000 point mark for St Helens, his only club. Great servant of the game, back after a couple of broken arms. And St Helens here, Steve-o, have the perfect start.
Well, it's something that their coach, Featherstone, won't be happy with it. Steve Martin, he works very hard on the defensive qualities, and he should have been stopped. Look, they're going far too high.
What a run from Nicol. It's Tutor who meets him in the end head-on, but Nicol brushed 3 or 4 players aside there with comparative ease. Dwyer is the acting halfback. This is John Neal. Oh, that was a crunching tackle, and a bit too high from Price.
Price going right over the top with the left arm. Really was a heavy one. Crunch there. Referee Ollerton quick to get there. Few words to that man. Well, we said it was going to be tough, but that is a gift 2 points, surely. That silly play right in front of your own posts.
Yes, Slugger Price picked out by referee for the high challenge. And so it's this penalty from Paul Loughlin again. He's just 12 metres from the post and just about bang in front.
Well, he certainly lived up to his name, Price, didn't he? Slugger then.
Yes, easy from that range and that distance for Paul Loughlin. St Helens are ahead then by 8 points to 0. Not 6 minutes on the watch yet, but look at this run from Sonny Nicol.
Well, this is what happens when you start to go too high. You've got to go low on a big man like this. Upper body strength is enormous. Get out of the way. And yet no one was going low. You suffer if you do that. And that's a mistake from St Helens.
Well, Maloney had learned his lesson. He punted the first one high downfield. That one bounced all the way along the grounds, and Helens had no answer to it, and it runs dead.
Good thinking there by the youngster. It's great to see young footballers learn from their mistakes. And didn't he just do that?
So it's a St Helens dropout into the stiff breeze from underneath their own posts, and Rapati's kick reaches halfway, and Pearson, who's met by Bernard Dwyer, and a little bit of help from Jonathan Neal. Owen Simpson, who's moved inside off the wing, and 6 to go, says the referee. It was a St Helens boot that got to that ball, so 6 more for Featherstone with Casey. Richard Gunn just shoving O'Donnell out of the way. Brett Daunt now finds Maloney. Good long ball to Pearson. Pearson missing last week because of flu. Featherstone missed him, despite the fact that Chris Bibb came in, who's an accomplished player. That's a good run from Steve Malloy. It took Vivas and Sonny Nicol to bring him down. Featherstone trying to reply quickly. Desperate defence from St Helens. And they're all over Tutor. The referee says play on. It's last tackle. Drop goal attempt, no. Daunt hoists the bomb. One tester for David Lyon. It bounces clear. And St Helens breathe deeply and get out of trouble because Vivas was there.
Well, look at them converging on him. There was no chance that David Lyon could get to that. I thought he was interfered with, but Vivas had dropped back. Experience showing there. But to mine, David Lyon was taken out before he had any chance of getting to that football.
It was Neil Roebuck's bomb that caused all the problems. And so Saints drop out from under their own sticks again. This time they don't reach halfway, but they do reach Pearson, who gives the ball to his winger Simpson. Richard Gunn to the winger Ikram Butt. Bounces away from the first challenge, takes a run at Neil, and Neil brings him down. Gunn is there. This now is Daunt, and there's Tuta. St Helens are watching the Kiwi loose forward very closely indeed. This is Terry Manning. What would Featherstone give for a try here to reply to that early effort? Maloney just holding the ball up neatly, finding Carl Gibson. Gibson thought he was through, but Sonny Nicol had other ideas. It's the last challenge, and Featherstone 10 metres short of the line. Roebuck again hoists the bomb, but it's gone too far this time, and it lands in the crowd.
He'll be disappointed with that with the second row of Roebuck. A few seconds earlier, very good bomb, but that was a wasted chance. But really, they were lucky there, St Helens. Tia Rapati missed a bad tackle on Carl Gibson, and the chance went begging.
Well, although Featherstone have a pretty impeccable home record here at Post Office Road, they have struggled in the past against St Helens, winning only 2 of the last 14 home clashes with the Saints. So it's a big task if you read anything into the history books. But the way Featherstone have been playing, the way they've acquitted themselves in the big league this season, it has been a source of great encouragement to everyone in this particular part of West Yorkshire, and in particular their coach, Steve Martin. Good little chip over the top, though, from Gus O'Donnell.
Punched it through, he realised the defence coming to him. You could see that there was no one at home. Perhaps didn't want the ball to bounce into touch, and allows the chasers to at least force the man in possession, but Featherstone on the rack.
Maloney with the run. 10 minutes gone. St Helens ahead by 8 points to 0. Great atmosphere here, though, at Post Office Road. It's a big pitch, but it is a tiny, compact ground, and the spectators are on top of the players, watching here noisily as Ikram Butt has a run and has the strength to get round Hunt first time. He's a difficult man to bring down.
Tremendous play by the winger there. Only a small fellow, but showed the upper body strength again.
Referee says play on. Leo Casey took his eye off the ball. It bounced off his chin, and St Helens have it back.
Well, to mine, Casey was looking at the referee, thinking that a penalty was going to come their way. You have to play to the whistle. It was not forthcoming. There you can see him looking at the referee. He thought that he should have blown up.
Sonny Nicol got a clout on his ear then. In fact, I think it might have been a bit lower than the ear. He's holding the jaw rather ruefully. It was the challenge from Tuta. O'Donnell somehow holds on, finds Jonathan Neal. Now it's Loughlin, straight and through Loughlin. Great run from the big centre, this. Here comes Pearson, but it doesn't matter. Hunt is there. Alan Hunt with the try. Marked his comeback from suspension, and the Saints are running red hot.
If you don't tackle, you pay the price. Juggling act from O'Donnell. But this attempt here, the ball out, and Loughlin, you'll find that it's Gunn and the prop forward, Casey, should I say. You can't afford to miss. This is the result. He did the right thing there. That was perfect centre play by Loughlin. And the winger just stayed outside him, Alan Hunt. The juggling act, you can see how they switched to the blind. Featherstone a little bit slow moving up. But this is where the game should have been stopped. It wasn't. They made a mistake. The prop and the hooker, Casey and Gunn. And the man that's been injured for quite some time, but look how he stretches out. Perfect positioning now Hunt realises once the tackle has been committed, it's a clear run for Hunt. Well taken try.
So Loughlin, who created the try, now tries his hand again with the goal-kicking duties, and he's just short of the mark this time. 12-0, St Helens ahead. And Tirupati, who has been struggling this season, he's had Achilles problems. He's been in and out of the side, and Jeanette Smith looking to the bench, and it looks like he's coming off. Les Quirk will come on to replace him. That's a big blow for Saints.
Not only for Saints, but could be a big blow for the Kiwis in the Test series.
We'll try and get news of Rapati as this match progresses. But it is a difficult ground to come to this, and expect anything at all for your journey either from this side of the Pennines or across the hills. And my word, haven't Saints started very well indeed.
Well, I think even St Helens players would have been surprised that the tackling has been lax. Featherstone so strong at home, but they've made two bad attempts to tackle the man, and two tries have been forthcoming.
The referee blows the whistle here. It was the knock-on, I think, from Gunn.
There was never any doubt about it. Gunn tried to put the hand across to stop the pass. Crowd don't like it, but they'd boo Peter Pan here.
Dwyer is the dummy half to Cooper. Loughlin running strongly again. Ball out to O'Donnell. St Helens keeping it alive well. This is Chris Joint, and he goes down. Bill Arthur has news of Tirupati.
Well, it's all happening for Saints now, because no sooner has Les Quirk gone on than he is hobbling. So Les Quirk came on for Tirupati, and he is now hobbling right in front of me, and Andy Dannett is now stripping off. Originally, Quirk came on because it seems Tirupati has suffered a recurrence of the calf injury that he needed treatment for all week. And he's come off and is being treated for that, and now Les Quirk is being treated. So Saints have definitely got problems.
They've got problems, but they're in possession. There's Rapati looking a little bit perplexed by it all. Vivers fires a long ball to Cooper. He asks O'Donnell. O'Donnell, lovely ball in field to Joint. Joint's almost there. Ball over the top. And St Helens were almost in for another try. Good job for them that Brett Daunt was there, but he's tackled behind his own try line by Bernard Dwyer. It's a drop out under the sticks.
Oh, this was super football. The inside pass there to the big second row Joint. Tried to get the ball away. Now, I think it was interfered there. Roebuck certainly was interfering. You could see David Lyon appealing to the referee. Referee Ollerton wouldn't have anything of it. They were looking to get away with that. Two long balls stretched the Featherstone defence.
And Gavin Hill, the Kiwi international prop forward, has come on for Leo Casey. So it's all changed here at Post Office Road.
Well, a big question, Eddie, that the Featherstone fans must be asking, what has happened to this Featherstone defence?
This is a great run from George Mann again. They're cutting this Featherstone Rovers defence to ribbons at the moment. Loughlin with the run, the ball inside to Dwyer. Still going Dwyer, and desperate defence from Featherstone. So close again, Saints. Cooper is there. This is John Neal.
What's for the crisscross? Saints are brilliant at this one.
It's Vivers. The ball, though, was forward. The pass was forward. The referee will bring it back. It was on the last tackle. Turnover automatically.
Well, the chance were there. I'm afraid this Featherstone defence has just been split apart. And that was the try gone begging. But perhaps it looked a bit forward. Alan Hunt couldn't take it.
Oh, this is a better run from Featherstone, but they're having to play a lot of their football, and that looked like a flop from George Mann to me.
Oh, it was. It should have been penalised there.
But they're having to play a lot of their better football in their own quarter line, Steve, aren't they?
Well, they've been pushed into it, haven't they? That is a flop, no doubt about it. Come on, referee.
George Mann looking to escape that. This is Gavin Hill, Kiwi from Canterbury Bankstown in Australia. Well, this is frantic stuff, isn't it? It really is. Game's being played at a heck of a pace, but Guns chip forward just too strong.
Things not going all right for the Featherstone side, but they really have themselves to blame. This is paper thin, some of the defence. Just out wide and just off the fringe of the ruck.
Well, defence has been a problem. They've conceded 20 or more, Featherstone, in 4 of their 5 games so far. And the way that this match is going at the moment, they might be conceding a few more here tonight. The Saints leading by 12 points to 0. In possession again, but that bounces off the chest of Nicol. And was Gibson impeded as he went for that loose ball?
Of course he was.
I think so. Gibson thinks so, but all the referee says it's a knock-on from St Helens.
Look, Alan Hunt made no attempt to go for that football. He just obstructed Gibson, and that should be a penalty. He made no attempt to go for it.
Look at that possession statistic for St Helens. And Featherstone backs against the wall at the moment, but that's a lovely chip into open space. Pearson's after it. The soccer skills will let them down. Oh, it breaks for Carl Gibson, but the referee wipes it off. No try, he says.
Well, Lady Luck not going with them, has it? But did it come off? What? Yes, it did. Offside there. Lady Luck going against them, but that was a wonderful move there from the scrum base. I really do love to see that. The English clubs so often have copied the Australians. They bring the full back up in a straight line. There's no one at home at the back. An ideal opportunity, and that's fully deserved 4 points.
Look at that penalty count. 4-0 in St Helens' favour. That's 4 penalties received by St Helens, none received by Featherstone Rovers. O'Donnell gets the ball out. Dwyer and Alan Hunt.
They really mean business on the St Helens. They're really crashing onto this football.
Gus O'Donnell with the kick downfield. It's Martin Pearson underneath it for Featherstone Rovers. Loughlin tackling him. The man who's hit 2,000 points in his career tonight, Paul Loughlin. 12-0. His team leads. I think I said earlier it was 2,000 for St Helens. For Loughlin, it's 2,000 in Loughlin's career. Milestone for him, but O'Donnell has been caught offside.
An ironic cheer from the Featherstone fans. There was no doubt about it. Mr. Ollerton had quite a few to select from. He decided on Gus O'Donnell in the end. But that is a bad mistake. You can't afford to do that when you're down by so many points early in the game.
No, they just didn't find touch, did they? St Helens off the hook, but not for long. Ferocity in the tackling has won the ball back immediately for Featherstone. They're in possession now with Terry Manning. Brendan Tooter is the acting halfback. Daunt gives it to Gavin Hill. Certainly Hill's strength and power will add a bit to this Featherstone Rovers side. No doubt about that. He's made some good breaks already. Here's Gary Price.
He's a tough hombre. He'll keep going all day.
Crowd are going balmy on the terraces here as Tooter makes a break downfield.
But where was the support? Now that's a penalty. He was pulled to the ground.
Well, referee lets it go.
Well,
this is Maloney. Now Pearson.
He's played the advantage perhaps, but dearie me. Oh, he's trying to milk that one. And he's got away with it.
Well, that really was the dying swan, wasn't it?
That's academy stuff. Even so, Beavers had a hold of the man. You're not allowed to. You're supposed to get away from him. Technically, Mr. Ollerton is correct.
Here's Carl Gibson.
Oh!
High tackle from Nicol. Referee looks to the touch judge. He doesn't give it. Well, the touch judge on this near side has come on. He saw it, and we're going to see it.
Straight over the shoulder, no doubt about it. Sonny Nicol, the swinging right arm. Mr. Gibson gets the teeth rattled with this one. Look at that!
And the remarkable thing about this is that Sonny Nicol, who committed that, high tackle, was sent off at Hawkinston Rovers on the opening day. He got 2-match suspension. He's only just back. The referee hasn't even spoken to him. He's given the penalty to Featherstone, who'll take the 2.
Well, he's a lucky boy. We very nearly could have been without Sonny Nicol in the Great Britain squad there.
Well, it's Andy Dannett coming on for St Helens now, and coming off Jonathan Neal, who took a knock in that incident.
Yes, Jonathan Neal limping away. Dannett is on then. Pearson, meanwhile, will take the 2 points. That's his 10th goal of the season. And Featherstone are on the board. Featherstone Rovers 2 points, St Helens 12. We're live, and it's a cracker at Post Office Road.
Well, it took a while there for Featherstone to get into it. Look how it twists there as well when he went down. Oh, that's an awkward one.
That's why Jonathan Neal is off the field and breathing a bit deeply. Obviously in some distress with that ankle. And we're waiting for the ball now before we get this match restarted. And we're waiting for Sand for the kick-off.
Well, the 2 substitute forwards on. Gavin Hill, he's a tough hombre, as I mentioned, but they don't come any tougher than the other one from St Helens, Andy Dannett.
And a very short kick-off, shallow kick-off from O'Donnell. It almost came up for him. Oh, but it's a little bit tough out there. And the referee was right on the spot then. And the touch judges come in for good measure. And I don't think Steve Malloy liked that challenge, or was it Gavin Hill?
Well, Dannett put a big one. I said it was going to be warm when these two went on. Been on the field, he has one go, and just as he goes down, whoops, the little one, thump. Touch judge saw it, so did the referee.
This is Steve Malloy now for Featherstone. He was tackled standing up, says the referee. Penalties have levelled out dramatically in the last couple of minutes. And this is a great run. Super run. And Ikram Butt was, well, he was tackled off the ball then, but the referee wipes the tackle count clear. It's 6 to go. Here comes Featherstone again with Maloney. Good ball out, but nobody there. Vivas picks up for St Helens. Don't take your eyes off this one for a minute. It is fast, it is furious.
Oh, Maloney went through the gap and tried to get the ball out wide, but all the Featherstone support had just run past it. Brilliant play by the youngster. They just overrun the pass.
Nearly 26 minutes gone. It's gone in a flash here. A match of some commitment, this, from both sides. Featherstone, of course, having gifted St Helens the lead with tackling like this. But finally, George Mann is brought to ground. Gavin Hill and Steve Malloy, and Hill and George Mann squaring up to each other off the ball. Last tackle, Saints. Dwyer, the dummy half, to O'Donnell, picks it up off his toes. Oh, and he couldn't get it away. It was good chasing by Gary Price. Play on, says the referee.
Was brilliant play by Price, put him under all sorts of pressure.
Here's Ikram Butt again. St Helens looked as though they were offside at that play of the ball.
What a great game this wing is having, Ikram Butt. He's a live wire, that's for sure.
So much a live wire that St Helens are holding him down in the tackle. It's a penalty to Featherstone.
They can see it. Chris Joint, the culprit. Ikram Butt trying to get up there. You've got to roll away. You can't interfere at all.
Malloy with a driving run. Oh, and someone was flattened there off the ball. Whether it was accidental or just a clash of heads, I'm not sure.
It was
Richard Gunn didn't like it. It was Sonny Nicol, certainly.
It was Sonny Nicol used the shoulder. The dummy was on, Gunn was coming through. That's it, the shoulder. Well, I suppose they could say they were both trying to protect each other. Shoulder on shoulder.
It's Brett Daunt who's gone down in a heap.
There you can see quite clearly. Now the ruling is that if two players are running the same direction, They can virtually shoulder to shoulder. It's a hard one for the referee to decide upon. But there certainly wasn't a high tackle.
But the referee's reaching for his pocket, and Sonny Nicol is in the sin bin. And Nicol saying to Ian it was my shoulder. But I wonder if that is a little bit of afters from that earlier incident when he escaped. The referee didn't speak to him before. This time he sin binned him.
Half a dozen of one, so he got him for 6.
Well, Nicol is off, and the referee, did he give the penalty? He did. Featherstone have taken it short. And this is Gary Price. The ball comes out stolen. It's going to be a gift too if Featherstone want it this time.
But not only a gift too, it's a professional foul. They're dragging this ball out on purpose. Get the yellow thing out again, come on.
Well, St Helens are down to 12 men for 10 minutes. And this is about to be another gift too for Martin Pearson. But as you say, Steve-O, it's a deliberate professional foul that to stop the 4 points perhaps becoming 6.
No doubt in my mind.
Pearson hits the mark again. Featherstone clawing their way back into this courtesy of the boot of Martin Pearson. It's 4-12, and someone I'm sure who would love to be out there and involved in this is the St Helens forward Adam Fogarty. Funnily enough, on a night like this, he's a former heavyweight boxer. Wonder if he's got some thoughts on Lewis and Bruno too. Let's find out with Bill Arthur.
Adam, it really has been a cracking game so far, and Featherstone just coming back into it now.
Yeah, it's been a great start for us, especially playing up the slope. I think George Mann's had a terrific game so far. I think we're all buzzing. We've been on his line for the last 5 minutes tackling, and his defence works quite good. So
But getting those 12 points on the board early on could be critical, really.
yeah, it's a great, it's a great start. I think we'd have been happy with 0-0 at half-time, playing up the slope. Unfortunately, we've had to use both as substitutes due to injury, but we're having a great start, yeah.
Right, put your professional boxer hat on. Lewis or Bruno?
I think Lewis will do it, definitely. If I were putting money on it, I think I'd have either the first or the second round, so I think definitely Lewis.
So that's a big vote of confidence from Adam Fogarty for Lennox Lewis. Don't forget, of course, the Lewis-Bruno build-up and the fight tonight. It starts on Sky Sports 9:30. The two, weather permitting, will be in the ring just before 1 a.m. and I am heading straight home tonight to watch that. I'm sure you are too. The fight of the century. Here we have one of the matches of the season, and Manning picks up, feeds Ikram Butt. Can he squeeze over the line? He can! That's got to be a try, and Featherstone Rovers are coming back from the dead here. Ikram Butt, he's had a great first half. He's crowned it with a very brave try.
The winger fully deserved this. Beautiful kick over by the Australian Brett Daunt. And look how they came through there. What on earth were they doing? Hanging around, he takes it well. Look at the strength. Pumps the legs over. Oh, that is wonderful strength from a winger, from someone so small. But this is the second time they've caught the St Helens defence. There's a beautiful chip over there. What on earth was Mike Riley doing there? Let it go past, and in they go. That really is a great try by a winger.
Ikram Butt, try number 4. A prolific try scorer is Ikram Butt, and he's come up with another 4 here. And what a vital conversion attempt this is now from Pearson. The crowd hushes. Now they'll cheer. They'll roar that one over because Featherstone have come back off the canvas and are only now within 2 points.
This is what you call using your brains. Look how the kick goes into the open space, and the result is 4 points. Excellent play. This is one way to break down a very tight defence, but really there were 2 St Helens players there. They should have dealt with it.
Just to emphasise the way Rovers have come back into this match, 10 points in 8 minutes here at Post Office Road. Last time the Saints were in town, it was a Challenge Cup Classic. We've got a big league classic on Sky Sports tonight. Not a bad hors d'oeuvre for Lewis and Bruno this. If there's as much action at the Cardiff Arms Park tonight, well, we'll all be well satisfied. Another super run. Francis Maloney starting to catch the eye again. That looked a touch forward to Gavin Hill, but play on, says Ollerton. Richard Gunn, Brett Daunt, he's starting to direct operations, the Queenslander.
The two half-backs are really clicking, Maloney and Daunt now. But the forwards are moving forward. They really are getting over that advantage line every time they're in possession.
It was Daunt's kick. He followed it up. It sliced off the outside of his boot, but was it a dangerous challenge on Les Quirk?
Well, he committed himself, in my opinion, Daunt. It was a brave take by Quirk.
But look at the way Featherstone really are getting stuck in here tonight. Incidentally, talking of the big battle royal tonight in Wales, don't forget the second heavyweight clash of the weekend in the Principality. Wales against New Zealand on Sky Sports Sunday night at 7. We kick off the Kiwi Tour here on Sky. That's a match we're all looking forward to. And we had the feeling that this was going to be a bit of a belter tonight, and so it is proving to be. Last tackle, Saints in possession, 12-10 ahead, but Featherstone have staged a tremendous comeback.
Well, there you see a poor kick from St. Helens, and that was brought about by the pressure applied by the defence. Oh, bad mistake!
Martin Pearson drops it.
He won't be happy with that, and rightly so. They can see he's spinning around, the ball just moving away there.
Remember, of course, as Featherstone make their third handling error of this first half, that St. Helens are down to 12 men with Sonny Nicol in the sin bin. Phil Vivers is on halfway, and so was Cooper. Now it's with O'Donnell.
Well, it really has been a case of St. Helens in the first 15 minutes, all the possession. And then Featherstone have clawed their way back. They've had possession for the last 15.
Confirmation of that. It really has evened itself up now, hasn't it? Oh, O'Donnell juggling again. And that's a brave tackle on George Mann. And it was by Neil Roebuck. That was a body-on-the-line tackle, that was. This is Dwyer. And suddenly, Steve-O, Featherstone, they're tackling like demons, they're running like hares, and they have an appetite for this game.
Well, I'm sure Steve Martin would have sent it out, and here's a drop attempt. It's way off the mark. Way off the mark there, and that just shows the frustration there. They were quite happy to go for the 1 point. Gus O'Donnell slicing out to the right. We're just getting back to that point that it's been a great tackling stint by Francis Maloney in the second row and Neil Roebuck. And I think the message has gone out by Featherstone coach Steve Martin that everyone has got to start lifting the game and follow their lead.
Brett Daunt from dummy half, swallowed up though by the big man Chris Joint. And now here's Tuta. One of the fiercest competitors. He dropped that ball. Oh, he dropped that, definitely. Gary Price hangs on though for Featherstone. The ref missed it.
Never got anywhere near it with his foot, did he?
They've hoisted the bomb though. Lyon drops it. Oh, so close. Lyon under extreme pressure dropped the ball. He could hear the hooves coming up over his shoulder. And Owen Simpson was so close.
Well, he had to run back for it. He's back to the opposition, and he didn't know where they were. He could hear them, as you mentioned, Eddie.
But Steve-O, after the start they made, Saints, they've been on the rack here, haven't they, for the last quarter of an hour and more.
And it appears to me that when this guy came out, Gavin Hill, he's a big guy. He seemed to have lifted them.
Daunt's lovely short pass to Price, wrapped up by Cooper and by Mann. Referee watching closely to see if anyone's trying to steal that ball. This is Tuta. Tuta gets the ball out to Malloy.
That was a
defence.
That was a beautiful pass there by Tuta.
This is Terry Manning. Slips the ball in the tackle to Daunt. Daunt says to Tuta, you have a go. Long pass from him. Featherstone to switch the direction of this attack. Maloney heading for the corner. And the St. Helens defence shuttles across, cuts the options down, and he goes into touch.
Oh, good play by Vivers there, Hunt's there, Riley's there, but it was a great run by the standoff. Francis Maloney, he really is coming into this game now
The referee, though, has brought the play back to a scrum in front of the St Helens posts. It must have been a little knock-on in that movement. Well, this is frantic stuff, isn't it? And worn out. And we're only watching.
Well, these players that look that eager to get up, get on with the game, play the ball quickly. There you can see Viva saying, come on. Try to catch the defence napping.
Nicol has served the 10 minutes in the bin and is back. So Saints up to the full complement of 13, and it's Chris Joint with the strong run.
Well, it proved a costly sin bin, didn't it, for St Helens? Scored that try, did Featherstone, whilst Nicol was off the field.
And there's a bit of feeling between Tuta and Nicol. The referee will have to watch this. It could explode. Vivas loses the boot in that tackle and goes up to halfway. Almost one-legged. Cooper over the top. The chaser was Hunt, but he was offside, and the referee spotted him.
Well, it was 50-50 on the replay.
He was so quick, he fooled Ian Ollerton and everybody else. He doesn't believe it himself, though, does he?
Well, they concede. I think he was onside. Pretty hard for the referee, who's 15 yards further down the field, to take that, but he's the man in charge.
Gavin Hill has made an immediate impact here at Post Office Road. Tutor on the run. Oh, they're running with such venom now, these Featherstone players.
They're full of confidence, the halfbacks Maloney and Dawn. Are they going to work something here?
This is Roebuck. Good short ball, and it's Maloney there, who was just hauled down, but Featherstone so close again. Gunn on his own from dummy half. Again, the St Helens defence stands firm. Last tackle.
Is it the kick across the face of the goal mouth?
Roebuck dabs it forward, but the referee says it was a knock-on, and on the last tackle, possession turns over.
Wow. Really has been hectic. Roebuck there, just a little bit excited, trying to get on with the game quickly. Just a little knock-on it was.
The rain is pouring down here at Post Office Road now, and we're into stoppage time in this first half. Featherstone 10, St Helens 12. 2 points the difference. They say, don't they, it's an old cliche that it is a game of two halves. This first half has been a game of two halves. The first 20 minutes belonged in its entirety to St Helens. The last 20 minutes has belonged without question to Featherstone, with tackling like that. Manning on Joint, tremendous.
They really have lifted their game in the defence. Oh, and that was forward.
Eyeball to eyeball, the two hookers. Richard Gunn.
Oh, that was stupid play.
Stands on his ankle. That was caught cleanly and clearly by our cameras. That was silly.
Look at that. That's a sending off offence. I don't care what anyone says. To stamp on a man like that. I'm afraid Mr. Dwyer has lost his cool.
They were eyeball to eyeball on the floor. There was something obviously said, and when Richard Gunn, the Featherstone captain, went down, Bernard Dwyer stamped on him. There is no doubt about that whatsoever. The referee saw it because he's given the penalty, but again he's not spoken to Bernard Dwyer.
Well, I can't believe this. Look at this. Okay, it was Gunn that lashed out first. They both should be in the sin bin. Simple as that. A guy goes into the sin bin with using the shoulder, you're allowed to kick out and stamp. That's okay.
Well, we're in stoppage time, and Gunn definitely lashed out with the boot first, so it was 6 and 2 threes, but as Steve-O says, perhaps they should both be in the bin. Well, Pearson won't argue. He'll have the shot at goal. It was worth the gamble in stoppage time, and that's how close it was to the half-time siren. What a match here at Post Office Road. Great atmosphere, great game. Saints streaking into the 12-point lead, and then Featherstone really coming back, picking themselves up almost from the dead and producing a first 40 minutes to savour. Great stuff.